what has happened is that late last night I had a phone call from the police in Scotland. They had apprehended 2 men who were acting suspiciously around rare bird breeding sites. They've searched the men and the vehicle that they're using, and they've found some documents which would suggest that both of them are egg collectors. We've come to Suffolk and we've obtained a search warrant from Ipswich Magistrates Court. We're now going to go with the Suffolk police to execute those 2 warrants. Hopefully we're going to find some birds' eggs on the premises, and also I'd like to think we might be able to find some other documents or evidence which might help the police in Scotland with their prosecution case.
Would you like me to steer the car while I'm doing it?
Yeah, he's got the warrant, you see.
$56 is what we're
Oh, God. It's got to be somewhere over there.
This block here, is it?
We're not going to lose our wheels, I hope. You got me a bit of paper, Keith?
Yep, I've got your bit of paper. Which block are we talking about?
Keith, have me a bit of paper?
I've got it, yes.
I hope it's got my name on it.
You want it to?
Yeah. 56. Oh dear. All the neighbours have spotted it. Probably the one with the
Watch Sky
satellite dish.
TV anyway. Watch Sky TV in that one.
Rather reeking to get back to Telford, eh? 56. Good. The best thing to do is, and we're not going to lose anything now, we'll come back in a fortnight. He went on the Friday, but he probably picked the car up then, drove up, and he's probably booked from Saturday for 2 weeks for another Saturday. Okay. So I think the best thing to do is perhaps for us to come back on a weekend or something, on a Saturday or Sunday,
we'll
2 weeks' time. That'd be all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We may get further sightings of them in Scotland.
Yeah. Oh, drat.
Looking good.
Yep. We can get a couple of birds in that anyway.
Aye, well, it's that time of year. It's up to them now, really. Aye. Oops, mind yourself there.
You can't just sit back and expect these priceless bits of heritage, these beautiful birds that we have in this country, to look after themselves. There's just too many threats to them. It seems incredible that in 1990 we have to actually stop people from interfering with these birds when the general public love and want the birds looked after.
You cannot put a price on a live osprey or a peregrine or an eagle.
Cuckoos in the Nest, the egg snatchers in the bird protection charity. And diesel fumes, the particles that can cause premature death. Good evening and welcome to 3D. 60 years ago, the Reverend Charles Jourdain was acclaimed as an outstanding naturalist, not least for his efforts in collecting and cataloguing birds' eggs. Were someone to do the same thing today, they would be regarded as a criminal. Since 1981, it's been illegal to collect wild birds' eggs or to disturb breeding birds by approaching their nests. Yet the practice of egg collecting still persists. A 3D investigation has revealed that men with criminal convictions for taking birds' eggs are members of a registered charity for the preservation of birds, known as the Jourdain Society.
The mountains and glens of Scotland, Britain's last true wilderness. This is the stronghold of the golden eagle. Each spring, 400 pairs try to breed here, building nests on seemingly inaccessible crags. But their future is threatened every year when their eggs are stolen by collectors. Taking wild birds' eggs in Britain is illegal under the Wildlife and Countryside Act of 1981. Yet 3D can reveal that there is a hard core of British egg collectors among members of a charity for the preservation of bird life. The Jourdain Society meets regularly at this hotel in Gloucester. In January, 3D eavesdropped as a long-standing member gave a slideshow to a meeting of the society.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we have a slideshow from Reg Norgan.
Reg Norgan, seen here at an earlier Jourdain Society meeting, was convicted in 1981 for egg collecting in Suffolk. During his 40-minute lecture, he bragged of taking Crag Martin eggs in Spain.
We devised a method to get to it, which required chipping away at the mud all the way around the nest, working it away, and then catching the nest as it fell into a landing net. And we succeeded without breaking any of them.
In Spain, legislation which protects the Crag Martin has been in force since 1980. But Mr. Norgan told 3D that the Crag Martin was not an endangered species, and taking the nest was not illegal at the time it was done. During his presentation to the meeting, Mr. Norgan described visiting the nests of a number of other rare birds in Spain. At the end, he received this ovation.
We're not talking about schoolboys collecting blackbirds' eggs. What you're talking about are adults who are planning meticulous expeditions, not just to far-flung places in Great Britain, but much further afield in Europe as well, intent on taking birds' eggs. And the tragic thing is, the rarer or more unusual the species, the more attractive it is to them. And it's just such species that can least do with having their eggs taken in the first place. It's a real tragedy.
In the late 1980s, one of the Society's members went on holiday to Scandinavia. Russell Bennett was accompanied by fellow egg collector Norman Lynch. The two men took a video camera with them to record their trip.
That's the buzzard. And where are we? That's its nest. Yes, you can't see the nest very well. Sort of branch gone wrong. Well, it's a gorgeous evening, as you can see. The bad news is that the mozzies are now out. Oh, oops. I said you should have got life insurance, didn't I?
That's a beautiful nest. It's got 3 in.
Very nice too.
Yes, quite nice colouring as well.
Oh, jolly good.
On their trip, the two men collected hundreds of eggs, including those of a sandpiper. As they tried to leave Finland, customs officers found the eggs in their car, They were both arrested and sentenced by a Finnish court to 6 months in prison plus a fine equivalent to £7,000 each. The sentence was suspended, and 4 weeks after their arrest, they were both deported. But back in Britain, Bennett, seen here with his solicitor,